Hi, I'm Mo.
I'm Jenoa.
And today we're having the sex talk. We have our guest back with us. Her name is Jen.
Hi.
Jen's got a lot of dating questions, some relationship questions, and some sex questions, and we're going to try to help her today.
So, talk to us, please.
I had a question about fantasy and arousal. If when you're having sex with someone and you're fantasizing at the time, does it take you away from the experience of your sexual arousal with that person? I mean, the arousal can help your sexual experience when you're with someone, but does it take you away? I guess it depends how away you go.
Well, this is a question that we talk about in our other segment, which is falling in love sex without falling in love.
Oh, right.
And we talk about being focused, and we talk about being connected, we talk about being committed to the moment and being in the moment. And you bring up such an excellent question, because when you're fantasizing, in essence, it could mean like you're not in the moment and you're not focused on that person. But fantasy is such a huge part of our sexual connection and our arousal. Ideally, I would say you would be able to share that fantasy with the person that you're with. Role play comes to mind, where you're actually verbalizing, like dirty talk, where you're talking dirty to each other and you're saying the types of things that turn you on, that you fantasize about. That's not easy for everybody. Those are really actually hard things to do for a lot of people, and they take practice.
Yes.
So, and then we live in a society also where fantasies, the things that we fantasize about, are really personal. We don't want to share them with everybody, and we're really embarrassed about them. A lot of times embarrassed to the point where we're shameful about them. So there's a lot of different things at play there. Ideally, obviously, we would break down the barriers of our shame, embrace our fantasies and our fetishes, and then be able to communicate them with our partner.
Yeah.
So, we have to work on ourselves to overcome our issues, and then we'll have great sex.
Yeah. And I always recommend talking. Talk about sex. The more you talk about sex, the more comfortable you're going to be around it.
It's true.
That's true. And maybe choosing a partner that you feel comfortable talking about your fantasies with would be one of the important elements here. Yes, right?
It's true. And if you look at like for example, the underground BDSM scene, which may not be so underground here in San Francisco. In Los Angeles, it's kind of an underground scene, but that's why people join that scene, because they can find people that they can share their fantasies with and be able to share that language with. So if you do have a fantasy or a fetish that you're really excited about, that's really arousing, that really turns you on, find a way to express it as honestly and openly as you can.
And P.S. dominatrixes make their living mostly off of people who don't have a partner they can express that with, and so they provide this service. So they found someone they can be themselves with.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell the audience what a dominatrix is?
Oh, hi. A dominatrix is someone who is paid to provide a service involving BDSM fantasies. Is that?
That's pretty much, yeah. She isn't. Is she always the dominant one?
Nope. There's all. It depends on what your fantasy is. So it's all. She can be anything. I mean, I'm sure certain people have their specialties,
right?
But you'll find someone that does what you want, and you don't have to be in a diaper, but you can be. I mean, it's really
whatever your fantasy is, whatever your
right.
fetish is, try to embrace it, and then share it with your partner. That will allow you to be present and focused, and bring your fantasy into the sexual play as well.
That's
I love
great.
it.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that was it for today on The Sex Talk.